Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and we're going to be talking about Star Wars, but not necessarily the movies or the TV shows or the books. We're talking about the toys. Now, the toys have been a staple since the 1970s, right? One of the reasons why Lucas became the billionaire that he did was because Fox having such low faith in the property that they basically gave him the merchandising rights, and he was able to take that and turn it into a gold mine of a fortune. Anyone here old enough to remember C-3POs? I do. But now it's been, well, not now, it's always been about the toys. The toys have always been a key thing. And they've seen success in recent years, but 2017's holiday season, ooh, no, toys did not do very well for Star Wars. In fact, they didn't sell very well at all. And there's been lots of other YouTubers that have gone out there that have covered this, that have gone to Toys R Us and Target and Walmart and shown just the walls of Star Wars toys that are unsold, still on store shelves. And stipulated that a lot of it had to do with the fact that the quality of the last movie was bunk and people just weren't buying it. But I think it had a lot to do with a bunch of mitigating factors, especially online sales, as well as people just aren't buying toys as often anymore. I think with the kids these days getting tablets at an earlier age, they want digital versus physical, and that is a debate until the end of time. But over on Fortune, they did talk about this when the CEO of Hasbro chimed in, and he says here that Chief Executive Officer Brian Goldner says the company made an error by releasing toys too far ahead of the franchise's most recent movie, The Last Jedi. That contributed to disappointing sales of the products during the holidays, a season which was already hurt by the bankruptcy of Toys R Us Incorporated. He says here that the fact that we began to merchandise the film in September and the film came out in December was just too long a period of time to sustain retail interest. It says it didn't help that lots of other toys were hitting the market around the same time, with an array of entertainment initiatives coming to market. The Last Jedi rollout, however, Hasbro and Walt Disney Company had hoped to duplicate the success of 2015's The Force Awakens. In both cases, they debuted toys in September, about 3 months before the movie reached theaters. Yeah, but when The Force Awakens revealed its toys, there was a big push for that. That was like a 12-hour live stream, I think, of unveiling the new toys. IGN was doing wall-to-wall coverage of it. A lot of YouTubers who cover toys were doing wall-to-wall coverage of it. I mean, the hype was high for the toys because we'd had a drought, a huge drought of Star Wars merchandise, so to speak, over the course of the previous few years. And ever since 2015 and Disney really pushing the merchandising side of things, because they know that's where a lot of money is the reason why I've got this shirt and I've got this hat, and I wear these unironically for this particular video, simply to showcase that, yes, people do buy a lot of merch, but not a lot of it is going to be toys. And even last year, 2017, January 2017, there was an article on Fortune talking about how Rogue One's toys were actually up from the previous year and had done well. So what caused The Last Jedi toys to not sell? I don't necessarily believe that it was the quality of the movie at all. I do believe that it had a lot more to do with just the factors surrounding big box retailers and where we find ourselves right now in just a digital age. But the question is, did Disney do anything wrong with their particular strategy? Well, yeah. It says here that the strategy backfired in 2017 for The Last Jedi, the 8th episode in the saga. Hardcore fans still came out in September, but the momentum quickly faded. Sales of Star Wars toys unexpectedly declined last year. Hasbro's overall revenue fell 2% in the fourth quarter, and its shares have lost 7.8% of their value this year. The Star Wars slump has fed the idea that consumers are suffering from broader franchise fatigue, brought on by too many movie sequels, spin-offs, and reboots. There were more than 20 such movies last year, and more planned for 2018, but Hasbro says good storytelling like Marvel's Black Panther can still draw huge audiences. Hasbro has another chance to reignite Star Wars buzz in the coming weeks. Merchandise for Solo, A Star Wars Story, will roll out in April. The movie comes out the following month on May 25th. Yeah, and that makes more sense, right? Like, so, you know, you had mid-September Star Wars toys roll out. They hit all the stores, right? Target does a big display. Walmart does a display. Or Toys R Us, whatever else. They'll do displays. They want to get people in. And that's still a long time. People have shorter attention spans these days. We're lucky to see movies hold on as well as some movies do, like Black Panther, and even to some respect, Star Wars itself was kind of outpaced by Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Like once Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle came out, people looked at the success of that movie. They were calling like, this movie's, I mean, it's not doing as much business as Star Wars here, but it is outpacing it in terms of just general success. So there are factors at play when it comes to Star Wars, and it could be fatigue. I do think that does play into it here. Will that, bring about the reason why more and more people aren't purchasing the toys? A lot of it could be collector's issues. A lot of it could be people realizing that these toys just aren't selling and their value isn't increasing as time goes on. And that can happen when you oversaturate the market. Disney's not pushing out toys for collectors necessarily. Some things they do. That's always going to be there. I go to Comic-Con every year, and there's always the Comic-Con exclusives and things along those lines. But when it comes to Disney, they want mass market appeal. They want mass marketing push. They want people to spend money on stuff and then the next year spend money on it again. So if enough people just aren't buying it, then these collections don't have as much value. And if the market is oversaturated, as we've seen that it is, and toys from like 2 years ago aren't selling, then there's really no value in that market anymore, and people just move on. So hopefully the Solo thing, only doing the push maybe a month before the film's release, or a month and a half or so, might do better, but we're going to have to wait and see for those numbers. But as it stands, releasing Star Wars toys for a new movie in September with a 3-month lead into the next film is not working, and it's only made worse, I should say, by Toys R Us closing down and everything else. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next, but I wanted to update you guys on this whole situation. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that the toys are just not selling because the movie's not good and people aren't buying? Do you think that people just don't care enough anymore, or has Disney just oversaturated the market with Star Wars? I do believe the comments on this will be pretty fascinating. But that being said, be sure to let me know, and thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to get more Star Wars talk from me, check back often, and if you want to see more, you can do so right now.